Second U.S. Open.
Yes! 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 Yes!
A piece of history, young man.
You better believe he did it! The title! The 10th. Big strike for Vi.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for the 2022 U.S. Open, taking place at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV, and we are ready for A Squad to hit the lanes for their final 8-game block of qualifying. C Squad was on the lanes earlier today, and you know what? There's some scores out there. We had Sean Rash make a massive run to get to a pretty comfortable spot looking ahead to making the top 36. He went 221 over. Tom Doherty moved into the top spot overall by going 211 over the course of his 8-game block earlier today on the 41-foot condition. So obviously yesterday the scoring pace, 37 feet, slowed everybody down a little bit, but it appears there's some opportunity to get some pins back here today. We saw the cut number start to make its way up as well. So what will that number be at the end of the day to get to the top 36 to move on to the next round of competition on Friday? With that, we're going to bring in Emil Williams Jr. to join us. He's been hopping into the broadcast for the final few blocks here each day. And EWJ, we're starting a little bit later today than usual, but we are excited to be bringing you in. What's up?
Man, first of all, how you doing? Glad everybody's good and safe as well. And none but a little brief delay, but obviously it didn't delay the strike situation that many believe was going to happen today on this pattern. And clearly through one squad, there is some score, as you mentioned, to get. So today, we've been talking about the risk reward, and we opened kind of the week with that. At some point, that's going to come into play for some players. And today's that day. It's moving day. It's cut day. And you got to go out and get it the best way you can. And sometimes you got to take a few risks. So we'll see what happens.
All right. And with that, we will head out to the lanes. This game one is underway. There we go. Out to the lanes here. 27 through 50, all covered on BowlTV.com. A big hello to the entire Bowl TV community. We appreciate you joining us here as always. We're also simulcasting to Flow Bowling. So hello to everyone watching on Flow. And then for game one exclusively, also on Facebook, the Sport of Bowling USBC Facebook page, and the Bowl TV YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us here for game one. We hope you enjoy it. We hope the intrigue draws you in to subscribe to watch the rest of the action here at the 2022 U.S. Open, leading up to the stepladder finals on Sunday, February 6th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Top 5 competitors, when it's all said and done, will be making their way to that telecast. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And a player who really made a move yesterday, and something we really didn't expect to see out there on the 37-foot flat condition for round two. We saw Wesley Lowe put up a massive number in the early squad, going I think 164 over, and everyone was like, okay, well that's the big number for the day. And then AJ Johnson, AJ went out there and did some things.
Yeah, he did, Aaron. And I think we had determined late in the block that he was not that the equipment is of utter importance, but I do think it played probably a small role because of the lane condition. Obviously, yesterday, the desert tank looked pretty good for AJ last night. He looked to be able to play kind of in between zones where we saw a lot of players kind of playing to the outside portion and trying to make that work or at least keep them safe. And then obviously we saw several players playing in 4th, 5th, and even 6th arrow certain places. And AJ was kind of in between. I feel like he never got left a 4th arrow, but didn't look to be too far right of even 15 in that regard. So at least at the arrows. So masterful job by AJ. Excellent bowling last night.
AJ is going to be joined by Tim Foy Jr. and Christian Azcona over on 45 and 46. Over on 43 and 44, Michael Davidson, Arturo Quintero, and Dio Bernard. And outside of AJ, everyone else has a little bit of work to do here today to make a run at the top 36, but we've seen it's out there. I actually heard one of the players ask one of the ball reps. So 300 overs out there, and they may have been joking, but they gave it a, oh yeah, it's out there. You can get it. So we will see if that's the case. Like I said, we had 220 over, 210 over, with some excellent performances from Sean Rash and Tom Doherty. Maybe we do, maybe we don't have 300 over out there, but we'll see if someone can find it throughout the course of this 8-game block. That was quite a number early on, though. But Sean Rash was minus 66 entering competition today, and his performance moved him all the way up to 11th place overall at the moment, tied for 11th, plus 155 with his performance today. So for those players who are minus 30, minus 50, minus 70, maybe even minus 100, if you're able to kind of flip it around and get to 180, 200 over, might be some bonus bowling for you.
I do think 300 over is out there, Aaron. And I'm basing that solely on what Tom and Sean did this morning. If you can get to those numbers, you could probably find not as sorry, I just destroyed my thought on lane 42. That was just, I don't even know how to describe that. That 7-9. What a weird hit at the end of the pattern there. But because of they did what they did, it is out there. Obviously, you need just a few more hits to go your way. But when they set the blueprint like that, your eyes kind of light up. And whoever that player was that asked that ball rep, like, yeah, that player, I don't know that player's position, but they're thinking, hey, I might need to make a run and take a quick risk here. I know there's some score available, so it's possible.
Well, without giving too much away, that player was 169 under.
Well, there you go.
So that would that put him right in the 130 over. Be safe for what we've been seeing. We asked the question in the chat earlier today about what we thought the number was going to get to. It was plus 11 to start the day. We've had a pretty big range of thoughts from the Bowl TV community in the opening round. When the round was all said and done, the number didn't jump up too crazy high. It got to plus 24 after C Squad had completed its 24 games. Matt Ogle, who is bowling the squad currently, is that number. For C Squad, the first player inside the cut at the moment is Norm Duke at plus 39. Norm had a pretty crazy day overall, which started with a 120 game. He was able to dig himself back and get to plus for the block, and then some struggles on the final pair. 167 his final game to drop to plus 39. The first player currently outside of the number is our defending champion, Chris Vi. He had started the final game with some momentum. He was at plus 17, and he started with the front four, and then a 710 slowed him down in the fifth frame. Really wasn't able to get anything going after that. Finished with 203 to get to plus 20. So it looks like our defending champion will not have the opportunity to continue his title defense unless things get a little crazy out here. But we expect that 36 number to continue to rise throughout the course of these next two rounds. So what is that number? What's that comfortable number? All things we will discuss and look at and find out along the way.
Man, that number is always just difficult to determine, but I always give credit to the reps because they always seem to know and have the best idea for sure. But I think obviously, once this squad gets closer to ending and certainly concludes, your guesses might be a bit more educated because you'll have a larger sample size to deal with at that point. But yeah, when I looked at the standings, I was like, oh, maybe Norm's safe, and then I, started counting how many players actually went plus, and then looked at Tom and Sean. I'm like, I don't know.
Overall for C squad with scores in the books right now. We'll go up to that cut line number of players inside the top 36 at the moment. Norm Duke. But we mentioned Tom Doherty at the top of the show, 211 over for the day. He's at plus 341. So that is the current leading total. So we'll see if players from A squad or B squad later tonight can make a run at that. Jake Peters at plus 325. Matt Kuba had himself nearly a plus 200 day. He went 196 over to get to plus 216. Kevin McCune plus 181. He held the lead for a brief second for the squad, but Jake Peters ran him down, then eventually Tom Doherty. Sean Rash and Benji Martinez plus 155 each. Nathan Bohr plus 131. Kim Bolaby plus 131. He went 276, 258, 222 to finish his block. So that's he was minus before that. And just popped off, 740, 750 to not only get past even, get past plus 100, get to 131. He's going to be safe. Wes Malott, a big final game after struggles throughout the course of the block. 245 to finish to get to plus 123. Zach Wilkins had a big double in his 10th frame to get to plus 107. Frank Snodgrass, our PTQ top performer from Sunday, plus 98. Tommy Jones threw a double in the 10th to get to plus 84. Mitch Hoope got the first one in the 10th, did not get the second one, however. So he's going to be playing the waiting game at plus 60. Chad Roberts, just an absolutely great shot to kick off the 10th. He had a chance to get to plus 70, did not get the 10 pin out. He finished with 215. So he's at plus 50 now playing the waiting game. And then Norm Duke at plus 39. Going to need some help.
Looking at those numbers, and of course, Chad, good story. If he can certainly hang on and move on to the captures round, of course, being on the outside of the PTQ once it had concluded. But of course, with a couple of withdrawals, he was in, of course, along with Daniel, who sits at plus 55. He will bowl this evening. And, Aaron, we always talk about in this event, would you rather be bowling the final squad? Obviously, would you rather have him put up your number, whatever it is, and then obviously have to, find a way to control your mind and nerves as the hours go by. Knowing Daniel, I know this is exactly the way he would want it. He's got a chance basically to have ball in hand and control his own destiny, and everyone else for that matter who bowls tonight. That's always fun to keep an eye on for us. Certainly not fun for those in the trenches and those moments. And I'm sorry, Daniel's on this squad. I beg your pardon. Forgot today is Cab.
Cab.
It still applies though for the B squad.
Absolutely. Yes, always cab the final day. Because unfortunately, some players will have to take the cab to the airport after this.
Ooh.
Because we are cutting the field.
I appreciate you still giving Cab some love in that situation and not just going straight to the ride share.
Oh yeah, that's in certain spots the cab I feel is the better option, the quicker option than the ride share. So I'm looking at you, Las Vegas. That's right. To and from the airport. Cab's the way to go. We do have live scoring available for anybody looking to keep tabs on players while they're making their way throughout the course of the event. Through the power of live scoring, you can see that Brandon Novak started with the front five before a 4 count and a spare. So I guess in 4 through the nose, picked up a spare and then another spare in the 7th, so he can still shoot 263.
Now look at someone like Chris Prather, Aaron, who is plus 30, plus 2. day one plus 28 yesterday. And, with that type of score out there, the amount of pins that could be gained, obviously could is the big word there. You just don't see him still sitting at plus 30. I just feel like he's just in based on what we've seen and knowing his ability. Got 8 games to go. That'd be someone I'd almost probably be shocked, but I'm willing to remove him from being around the number, so to speak, knowing that there are pins to get, and he certainly is one of the best who is doing it right now to go out and get some.
Saw the light go off there for Tim Foy, so appears he fouled there. Doesn't lose any count, but makes the spare a little bit tougher. Kind of really needed a big game out of the gates here for his position, minus 177 to start chipping away. At that difference. So, folks, we've been talking about it being cut day and how we got here. The U.S. Open in 2022 limited to 108 players. Many already earning an invitation based off of their on-lane performances over the previous year and previous major championships on the PBA Tour, as well as USBC short duration events like the Open Championships, Team USA Junior, Team USA, and more. And then an on-site pre-tournament qualifier dating back to Sunday, way back when on Sunday, to fill up the field, get to 108 players. Since then, all players had an official practice session on Monday with the option to bowl all 4 patterns that will be used throughout the course of the 2022 U.S. Open. And after the conclusion of that, they had to turn in a ball card, which was a maximum of 10 spots, so 10 bowling balls these athletes could pick from to tackle the first 3 patterns of qualifying before we make the first cut. From 108 to the top 36. 3 different oil patterns. Day 1 was a 45-foot condition with a very unique strip of oil in the center. We saw, I'd say, medium scoring pace for that one. It wasn't too crazy. One player got to plus 200 for the block. That was Anthony Simonson. I think about 10 to 12 players who were plus 100 or more. Day 2, which was yesterday, was the 37-foot pattern, and that offered its challenges. Certainly, we saw a lot of interesting strategies along the way as well. Players throwing plastic, urethane, playing 6-0, playing up the boards, and everything in between. AJ Johnson was the standout. We were watching him kick things off here for round number 3, which of course is the 41-foot condition. So after 24 games are in the books, once again, 108 players will be cut down to the top 36. The top 36 will return to the lanes tomorrow. We'll bowl 8 more games on a 4th oil pattern, which is 40 feet in length. And after 8 games, the top 24 will be determined for round-robin match play, which will also begin tomorrow. And then continue on to Saturday, 56 game totals, including bonus pins for every win and or tie in match play. Will be added to that, and then the top 5 will advance to the step ladder finals, taking place Sunday on FS1, 5 p.m. Eastern, the time for that. I appreciate Mark Howell and the Bowl TV chat dropping saving me here. Says the 37-foot platter sounds like a great buffet of food. Appreciate that, Mark. And I'm not sure if AJ is disputing this foul or not. That is the second one on lane 45. Tim Foy had one a shot or two prior. So AJ, I'm guessing, talking with the tournament staff on procedure if he wishes to appeal it.
That's not something you want to see, but I guess if that's the case, or something like that could be happening from a foul light situation. Perhaps you wanted to have it early in your block rather than late, certainly.
All right. Well, while that's ongoing, we're getting close to the 10th frame. Over on 43 and 44, and taking a look at live scoring, we'll get some updates across the house. Blake DeMoore, 245 to kick things off. Matt Sanders over on 47 and 48 can get to 256. Damon Sirocco is down there right now talking with AJ Johnson about everything going on here. Tom Barrett can get to 238. Kyle Sherman can get to 241. Bailey Maverick, nice 267 out of the gates. Of course, Bailey making his TV debut at the Players Championship, making the Midwest show. Brandon Novak, 230. EJ Tackett can get into the 250s still as well. Michael Davidson makes a double in the 10th. He's going to get into the 170s, so he's going to have to It's going to have a little more work to do here, minus 38, and it's going to drop to the minus 50 range. Excuse me, minus 60 range. Arturo Quintero, third place finish at the Players' Championship. Going to finish with all three in the 10th. He's going to get to 201. It's at minus 89. Oh, let's go Tim. Still get the 200 this game. Theo Bernard. He still has 211 out there. First strike up on the board for Dio. 211 out there for him. Looks like we're going to call it 189 for AJ, at least for now. So I'm going to give a couple pins back to the field here, but still in the plus 190 range. As we wrap up game number one, just a reminder to the folks who are watching on Facebook and YouTube that this sneak peek into the U.S. Open is going to be coming to a close here in just a couple of deliveries. So be sure to head on over to bowltv.com, pick up your subscription. A few different ways to watch. You can pick up an event ticket to watch the live action for the rest of the tournament for $12.95. You can pick up a monthly recurring subscription for $9.95, which not only gives you the access to the live events, but also everything available on bowltv.com, including archives and on-demand content. So $9.95 for monthly, or if you want to go the annual route, annual recurring subscription, $79.95, the best way to support the PWBA Tour. Transaction fees do apply at all three price points. And remember, folks, not only do you get the live bowling, you get the great events from across the nation, you also get to interact with the always fun Bowl TV chat community. A lot of good folks in there. It's like cheers, everybody knows your name. Then, of course, giveaways as well. Giveaways throughout the course of competition just for watching Bowl TV. So with that, and with our competitors getting ready for game two, we're going to take a quick reset. But before you know it, we'll be back and ready to go here for the rest of A Squad. Their final round of qualifying at the 2022 U.S. Open.